Welcome to the session of statistics. Let me introduce today's statistical description. Completely theoretical portion. 3 questions you will get from this chapter. 2 theory and 1 practical. There are 8 questions or 7 questions given in the study material. 1 out of those 7 questions you'll get. So far, last 20 items, if you see the scanner prepared by, that is student's opinion. All the questions are from study material only. Now look at the introduction of this. Points to remember. First point. Statistics is derived from the Latin word status. It is derived from German word statistic. And it is derived from Italian word statista. French word statistique. Now, what is meant by statistics? Statistics is collection of numerical data. For what purpose data is collected? That collected data is used for analysis and interpretation. Suppose we want to know which serial people will watch, leaving their household work aside. Suppose there are 50 lakh TV viewers in twin cities, Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Fine. Now we cannot collect the opinion from 50 lakh people. So 10,000 people are selected from this, and opinion is collected from them. According to that, we are giving rankings. This serial is the most popular serial. This way. So there is a purpose of collecting the data. That is for giving the rankings and to know which serial people will watch. There are 2 types of numerical data we have. One is 50 lakh people who are having television sets or who are having TV watching habit. This 50 lakhs is known as population size. Population size. Now, to know the opinion of these 50 lakhs, we have selected a sample of 10,000. 10,000 people are selected. This 10,000 is called a sample. So, sample is a subset of population. Sample is a subset of population. And in statistics, we will conduct experiments on the sample. Whatever may be the opinion collected from this sample, or whatever may be the results the sample is providing, based on this we are taking the opinion on population. So it is always population. Population is also having characteristics like mean, standard deviation, correlation coefficient, etc. They are known as parameters. Whereas similar type of statistical constants of sample are known as statistics. So we have statistics is a collection of numerical data. Statistics is a collection of numerical data. Data is collected to decide the characteristics of population. Data is collected to decide the characteristics of population. What is meant by population? As I told you here, there are 50 lakhs TV viewers, that is my population. And here I am interested to know which serial they will watch. So how you can define various characteristics relating to items or individuals is known as population. Now look at this, here it is items or individuals. It means when we are talking about population, every time we don't consider individuals only. For example, let us consider a manufacturing organization is producing goods. A particular product it is producing. So from company's point of view, how many units it is producing per day or per week is known as population. For example, a company which is producing tubelets. So per day production or per week production is known as population. And the company is saying their bulbs are having 2000 hours life of continuous use. To know whether the bulbs are giving 2000 hours or not, what we are doing, a sample of 100 items are selected and they are tested for their length of life. If the 100 tubes will give 2000 hours, then they can say the production is under control and all the tubes it is producing will give a life of 2000 hours. So from this company's point of view, population is called tubes it is producing. That is why here it is mentioned various characteristics relating to items or individuals is known as population. Sample is a subset of population. Sample is a subset of population. Next point, statistical constants of population like mean, it is denoted with mu, variance denoted with the sigma square, correlation coefficient etc. are known as parameters. Now population correlation coefficient is denoted by this symbol and is called rho. How to read this one? Rho. Sample mean is denoted by me, that is mu. Variance means sigma square and correlation coefficient rho. These are known as parameters. Similar statistical constants of sample statistical constants of sample, mean is denoted by x bar, variance is denoted by s square, correlation coefficient denoted by r are known as statistics. This way you have to find the difference between sample constants and population constants. Okay. Next point, the word statistics. The word statistics may be viewed in two different as a singular noun. As a plural noun and as a singular noun. As a plural noun, statistics refers to statistical data. Statistical data. As a singular noun, as a singular noun, it refers to statistical methods. It refers to statistical methods. Statistical methods includes collection, classification, presentation, analysis and interpretation. Analysis and interpretation of data. As a singular noun, it refers to statistical methods. These statistical methods include collection, classification, presentation, analysis and interpretation of data. Okay, let us see an example of payroll. An organization is having some employees. How many employees are working? That is collection of data. Department wise they are classified, that is classification. Then they are represented in a tabular form or in any other way, tabular form. And again, analysis and interpretation. That is, at the time of preparing wage slips, how many workers are worked for overtime and what should be the additional amount should be paid, how many workers have taken leave for how many days according to the deductions, income tax and everything will come. So data is collected for a particular purpose. That purpose is to take interpretation and analysis of the data. Look at this, all these points you have to remember. So when you are watching this video, you write these points, go through that video 1 or 2 times and after that write all the points on a paper and go through 2-3 times, then answer the questions which are given in set A. No need to go for additional question bank for this chapter. All the questions you will get from set A only. And set B anyway, numerical problems that I will solve in the classroom. Set C we have 5 marks question which are not required in statistics of any chapter. Next, statistics is applied in economics, business management, commerce and industry. So these are the areas where statistics is applied. Next. Here data may be defined as a quantitative information about some particular characteristic under consideration. Now, for example, whether my students are studying regularly or not, what will I do? We will conduct exams at regular intervals of time, and marks obtained for the students are noted. So, the data which I am collecting from you, that is by conducting marks obtained for the student, is the data. Okay, this is for analysis purpose sample. Which student is giving consistent performance, which student's performance is not consistent, and in which areas you need some improvement. All these analysis we will take up by analyzing the marks obtained for you in the exam. So data may be defined as a quantitative information about some particular characteristics under consideration. Fine. A quantitative characteristics is known as a variable. A quantitative characteristic is known as variable. Variable means measurable quantity. Heights of the students we can measure. Weights of the students we can measure. Fine. So the things which are coming under measurable items, they are called variables. A variable is of two types. First one is a discrete variable. Second one is continuous variable. Discrete variable and a continuous variable. What is meant by a discrete variable and what is meant by a continuous variable? Look at this small question. I'll ask you, how many students are there in the class? What is your response? You will enter into the classroom and count how many students are there, and your answer is always a whole number. You may give answer as, sir, there are 10 students in the class, or there is no student at all except me. Okay. Otherwise, you don't give the answer as 3.2 students or 7.4 students this way. It means the variable which will assume only whole numbers is known as a discrete variable. The variable which will assume only whole numbers within a specified range is known as a discrete variable. A variable which assumes only whole numbers within a specified range is known as a discrete variable. Let us see the examples. Number of petals in a flower, number of petals of a flower, number of students in a class, number of children in a family, number of misprints in a textbook, number of road accidents, per day in a particular locality, etc. Number of petals in a flower or number of petals of a flower, number of students in a class, number of children in a family, number of misprints in a textbook, number of road accidents per day in a particular locality. All these are the examples of discrete variable. Okay. A variable which can assume whole numbers as well as fractions as well as fractional values within a specified range is known as a continuous variable. Okay. Any doubt as far as a discrete variable or continuous variable is concerned, you can watch the video of binomial distribution, Poisson distribution and a normal distribution. There I highlighted this point. As far as binomial and Poisson distributions are concerned, the variable has always taken whole number. For example, 10 coins are tossed. Find the probability of obtaining exactly 3 heads, at least 7 heads, at most 5 heads, no head at all. These type of problems we solve. In all those cases, we have assigned a whole number to the variable, that is a discrete variable. Continuous variable means heights of the students, weights of the students, profits of a company, marks obtained in an examination. All these cases, that is in normal distribution problems, we have given whole numbers as well as fractional values. Whole numbers as well as fractional values for the variable. So a variable which can assume whole numbers as well as fractional values within a specified range is known as a continuous variable. Example: height, weight, wage, sale, profit, age, etc. Now if I ask you a question, how old are you? When you give your age as with respect to last birthday, it is always whole number. It is always a whole number. Then it is considered as a discrete variable. But if I stress exact age, then you are saying 17 years 3 months, 17 years 5 months, 17 years 6 months, this way. When I express my age in terms of years as well as in months, okay, then it is called a continuous variable. Again I am repeating this point. My question is very simple question. How old are you? Immediately you are giving 17 years. Okay, just you completed your plus 2 exam, or you may say 18 years or 19 years this way. What does it mean actually? You are giving your age according to your last birthday. In this particular case, the variable x is called a discrete variable because it will always take whole numbers. But if I stress again, tell me what is your age. Some of the students are giving response as 17 years 3 months, 17 years 6 months, 17 years 8 months, this way they are giving. So in this particular case, the variable has taken whole numbers as well as fractional values. Then it is called a continuous variable. General examples what we consider for continuous variable, it is height of the students, weight of the students, wage structure, again sales of a company, profit, age, etc. Okay. So this is an example of continuous variable. Next, qualitative characteristics. Qualitative characteristics are known as an attribute. What does it mean actually? Qualitative characteristics. Popularity of a person. You can say whether a particular person is popular or not. How much popularity he is enjoying, that we cannot measure. In the same manner, we can say whether a person is intelligent or not. Then that intelligence we cannot measure. This way there are certain things which cannot be measured. They are called attributes. But for statistics point of view, attributes are converted into variable. How can we convert the attributes? Rankings will be given. Your talent cannot be measured. But how I am counting your talent? By conducting an exam, marks obtained. Then I am giving rankings. This particular student is always first in the class. Rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4. This way rankings are given. What does it mean actually? By giving the rankings, qualitative characteristic is converted into a quantitative. Means an attribute is converted into a variable. Here examples. Gender of a baby, comma, the nationality of a person, the color of a flower, etc. The color of a flower, etc. Okay. So this way, as far as the statistical data is concerned, we have two categories. One is measurable data, second one is not measurable. Either it is measurable, means whether it is a variable or an attribute, everything is converted in terms of variables only. Qualitative data also converted into quantitative data for taking interpretations and analysis. Next, one way of the collected data is classified as data may be secondary data. Primary data, second one is secondary data. Okay, what is primary data? When it is collected first time by a person or an agency is called primary data. The data which were collected first time by an investigator or agency are known as primary data. Whereas data are known to be secondary data. Data are known to be secondary data or secondary if the data as being already collected or used by different person or agency. That is a secondary data. Let us see the information internet data available. So first time they are collecting the data and which is available on internet, and whatever data available on the internet that is used by so many persons. So the data which is used by so many persons from internet is known as secondary data we have. Now, one important theoretical question: how to collect a primary data? Primary data may be collected. By first interview method, second one mailed questionnaire method, third one is observation method, fourth one is questionnaires filled and sent by enumerators. This way there are four methods we have. Primary data may be collected by four methods. Okay, interview. Again this is direct interview, indirect interview, telephone method. So personal, that is interview method, is again classified into or divided into three types: direct interview method, indirect interview method, telephone method. These are all to collect the data. Okay. Now, star point, in case of natural calamity like a super cyclone, an earthquake, etc. Data are collected by personal interview, method. Personal interview method. One more point again, star mark, in case of a rail accident, data are collected by indirect interview method. Next point, telephone interview method is a quick and non-expensive way to collect the data. This method has wide coverage of area. Third one, the amount of non-response is maximum for this method. So there are three theoretical questions we have. If you look at the ICA problems which are given in SAT-A, which method is quick and rather non-expensive? 4 options are given. One out of those options is a telephonic method. Again, second question we have is which method has wide coverage of area? Again, answers 4 options are given. Third question is in which method we have maximum amount of non-response. This way, straightforward theoretical questions ICA will ask. Only 2 theory questions you will get. One is based on this point. Second one is based on the diagrams and table. Third one is a numerical question. So altogether there are 50 to 60 points you have on statistical description. You have to go through these 60 points thoroughly. Next. Third one is mailed questionnaire method. In economics, you studied one point, that is to know the demand forecast. Delphi method is there. What you are doing in Delphi method, when you want to know what will be the demand and this opinion you want to collect from experts, then a well drafted and well sequenced questionnaires we will send to them and the opinion is collected. The process is repeated till the satisfactory explanation is obtained or response is obtained for the company. So that is called mailed questionnaires method. Mailed questionnaires method consists of framing, a well drafted and soundly sequenced questionnaires covering all the important aspects. Look at this. At the time of joining in CA course, you have filled an application form. There some details are given. So that is also an example how institute is collecting the data from the students. Fine. Online application or offline mode, anyway, there is a format which is given to you and you have to fill up that one, which contains name of the student, address, and after that some other details, qualified examinations and some other additional information is given. That is an example of mailed questionnaire method, how institute is collecting the data from the students. Is the best example for you. In 12th class also you have filled that admission form or examination form. All these are real life examples you have. Second point, it has also a wide range of coverage. Next, in observation method, data are collected by direct observation or using instrument. Now look at this example again. When I want to know the height of the student or heights or weights, then what will I do? Weighing machine. With the help of weighing machines, we can measure the weights of the students. Again, with the help of a tape, we can calculate the heights. So that is one way of collecting the data. Again, if you want to have an idea what will be the average sales of a departmental stores, then just standing in front of the departmental stores, you can notice how many customers are entering inside the departmental store during the lunch hour. That is, during that particular time, most of them are having some free time. Based on that one, you can come to an assessment. That is called a direct observation. Using an instrument, also you can collect the data. So what this point is saying, in observation method, data are collected by direct observation or using instrument. So based on this one, you have 10 theoretical questions given in set A. So these points you have to remember, not only reading, you have to remember them. Fine. Next, there is another way of classification, sir. Data may be classified with respect to area. Okay. First one we have discussed about collection of data. When the data is collected, then it should be classified. So how to classify? Classification of data. Classification of data. When the data is classified, then comes presentation. Once it is presented, then you can take analysis from this one. So first point for collection is, first point here is for discussion is collection of data. How can we collect the data? So it may be collected by interview method or questionnaire method or observation method or by using an instrument. This way various methods. Again, in case of interview method we have personal interview, indirect interview, telephone interview. So that is the way of collecting the data. Once the data is collected, you have to classify for better understanding and to take interpretations. So classification may be with respect to area. With respect to area. That is geographical classification. Geographical classification. Geographical classification. Or there is one more word it is having, for that I am referring your material. This is geographical or spatial series data. Second one is with respect to time. That is chronological classification. Chronological classification or temporal or time series. You have to remember all these three names. When you classify the data with respect to time, it is chronological classification or a temporal classification or a time series. With respect to attribute, with respect to attribute, that is qualitative classification. Qualitative classification or ordinal data. Finally, we have with respect to a variable, that is quantitative classification. Quantitative classification or cardinal data. Okay. So first step in statistics is collection of data, and already we discussed about the various methods we have to collect the data. Data is collected, then you have to classify, and when it is classified, then you can go for presentation. Fine. These are the 3 points which you have to remember. The entire chapter is revolving around these 3 points. Again, I am repeating this point. First point is collection of data. Second point is classification of the data. Third point is presentation. So 3 points are there, 3 new questions you have. Now, one more important points where you have to concentrate. Data may be further classified as frequency data, and non-frequency data. Frequency data and non-frequency data. Qualitative as well as quantitative data. Qualitative and quantitative data belong to the frequency group. Whereas time series and geographical data belong to the non-frequency group. Non-frequency group. So classification we have basically 4 categories with respect to area, with respect to time, with respect to an attribute, with respect to a variable. Basis. Okay, data can be classified as geographical data, chronological data, qualitative data and quantitative data. That is one way. Another way of classification is frequency group, data which has frequency and data which does not have any frequency. So qualitative as well as quantitative data belong to the frequency group, whereas time series and geographical data belong to the non-frequency group. Look at this frequency group means we studied averages and dispersion, correlation and regression. So in averages, when you are calculating the arithmetic mean is calculated for individual observations as well as for group data. When it is a group data, we have how many students in the class with marks 0 to 10, how many students in the class with marks 10 to 20. So we have considered the marks as one variable as well as a frequency. So data which has qualitative as well as quantitative classification is coming under the category of frequency. Now let us see time series data. In time series data we don't consider frequency. Why? One variable is time. The sales of a departmental stores year wise. If you take the sales of a departmental stores year wise, first column is year 2005, 2006, 2007 this way. 10 years data you have. What will be the second figure you have? Sales. So there is no frequency at all. So time series data does not have any frequency. In the same manner geographical. Area wise, when you see per acre yield. First one is city name you have taken, second one is per acre yield. So there is also no frequency as far as geographical classification. South Indians, North Indians, East Indians, southern part of India, northern part of India, western part of India, and again eastern part of India. Their frequencies are not considered. So another way of classification is a statistical data which has a frequency and which does not have any frequency. qualitative as well as quantitative data related to frequency group. Whereas a time series data and geographical data does not belong to frequency, but they are related to non-frequency group. This is another way of classification. So second point also over for a discussion. Third point is presentation, mode of representing the data. Textual presentation. Suppose a CBI inquiry is going on a particular person. Fine, they will submit the report in a textual form. Report generated by managers to the higher authorities. Basically, it is in textual form. So let us see the next one. One more example of textual presentation is example. First two pages or 3 pages of this study material, this chapter, statistical description. Everything is written paragraph wise. It may contain one paragraph or more than one paragraphs. Is the best example for a textual presentation. So next point is mode of presentation. Mode of presentation of data. Mode of presentation data. First one is textual presentation. Second one is tabular representation. Tabular presentation. Third one is diagrammatic representation. Diagrammatic representation. Already we have discussed about textual presentation. That is, again I am saying, open any textbook, chapter introduction is there. Chapter introduction is paragraph wise, it is given. So that is a textual presentation. Then tabular representation. In the form of rows and columns with proper headings and column names and row names is called a tabular representation. Tabular representation is what? Representing the given data in the form of rows and columns, giving proper names to each row and column, again table numbers, and again source from where the data is collected is called a tabular representation. Diagrammatic presentation it is with the pictures you can represent. Pictorial representation, graphical representation is diagrammatic representation. Okay, so remaining in the next session I'll take up. Thank you.